Wait till they finish. Okay. So I am very happy to introduce the people who are here today, and I know the principal wanted to introduce them, but I'm going to do it. First, we have Dr. Gregory Vallone, principal of Mulholland, my past director when I was a principal at Johnny Cochran. We have Assistant Principal Brian Sida. Okay. We have Assistant Principal Raquel Siegel, who I remember from Pio Pico when I was at Johnny Cochran Middle School, and teacher Marcy Lewis. Let me tell you why Mulholland is being honored today, not because they're a great school, not because I love them, that's not the reason. Our superintendent tells us that we have to increase enrollment if we're going to remain viable. And this is a school, a middle school, that has increased enrollment and is keeping increasing enrollment. We have lots of enrollment in elementary school, but when it comes to middle school, then people seem to leave, but not at Mulholland. And let me also give you a reason, and our superintendent, Mr. Joseph Nacorda, would you wave, Joseph? Nader, come on down. You're included too. One of our directors, Nader, Del Navas. We're a family in Board District 3. And I remember that Marcy Lewis, when I went visiting at Bassett Street School, and she was the robotics teacher there. The next time I look, she's a robotics teacher at Mulholland Middle School, because you did leave an excellent replacement, I have to admit, an excellent replacement at Bassett. And now you're joining the family at Mulholland. And that's why we have a families of schools in our local District 3, and Board District 3, I'm sorry, and I'm just so proud of them. So Greg, you want to talk about your program?
All right, before Dr. Vallone goes, good afternoon, board members. Please join me in commending the leadership that Principal Vallone and his team at Mulholland Middle School has done. Dr. Vallone has engaged the community of Lake Balboa in providing multiple rigorous and high-quality learning pathways for students to succeed in the STEAM disciplines and specifically robotics. Congratulations to the stakeholders and community members at Mulholland. We have a great community comprehensive middle school example here that has increased enrollment by 489 students in the last 5 years. Congratulations, Mulholland. Principal Vallone.
Board Chairperson, board members, Dr. Gibson, when you get back, thank you for having us. I want to give a shout out to Scott Schmerlson. Scott, thank you so much for everything you do for our school and for our superintendent, Joe Nacorda. Thank you for everything that you do. It really makes my job easy. So we've had a couple of assistant principals here that have walked the same path, and it's Mrs. Siegel and Mr. Sida, and they need a big shout out because they are ready to do the same job at any school they go to. They're ready to go. So if we could get our PowerPoint up, that would be great. Okay. We had a problem at our school, and the problem was that we were losing students at an alarming rate. I mean, faster than the other schools in the district. There is a slope that if you take a look at, you're going to say, that's not a good slope. You don't have to be a mathematician to see this. So let's start in the year 2010, lost 81 students, lost 150 students, lost 203 students, lost 146 students. We said, whoa, wait a minute, we got to do something. Because the next projection is a projection that came from downtown, and they really did a good job. That's where we were scheduled to be, 950. We said we can't have that. So we did a little something. We got up to 1160. The next year we went up to 1274. This year I'm very proud to say we are at 1,389. Thank you. 489 students over our projection. So we're very proud of that. And we had to figure out a way to do this. And we know that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome is the definition of insanity. So we said we have to change things. We've got to change what we're doing. So our question was, what could we give this community? What could we give these children that would stand out? So we came up with a wish list. And it had to be something that was engaging, interesting, and new. It had to be something we hoped that we could bring in. They couldn't get it anywhere else. Something with a future. We were looking for something that was complex and challenges the students' thought process and creativity. We wanted it to be project-based instruction. Something that would be special for this community and these children. So we went searching, and that's a picture of Bill Gates. And the reason there's a picture of Bill Gates there is that we read a quote, and he said, imagine being present at the birth of a new industry, an industry based on groundbreaking technologies. I went, interesting. The rest of the paragraph is about robotics. But the next paragraph is what caught my eye. And I'm going to read the whole thing. Of course, the paragraph above could be the description of the computer industry during the 1970s, around the time that Paul Allen and I launched Microsoft. Now, you got Bill Gates saying that the robotics industry is in the same place as the computer industry in the 1970s. I'm going, this is a no-brainer. This is where we're going. So we started. Now, he wasn't exactly right. Could you hit the program just for a little bit? Because this is what we found as we started looking around. There were robots all over the place. That's a car manufacturing plant. They are doing manufacturing of, if you take a look at the whole video, and you're not going to, that is a Mercedes-Benz being produced. Thank you. So we said to ourselves, if that's what's happening right now, imagine what will happen in these kids' future. And I read an article just recently. It said by 2035, 95% of all manufacturing will be done by robots. My daughter-in-law and son have a robot that vacuums their house. My wife saw on the news there's a robot that folds clothes. She wants me to buy it for them. Okay? It's going to be everywhere. So this is what we're doing for Mulholland Middle School. And this is not as a story told by us, but this is a story told by Inside California Education, a nonprofit that goes around and looks for the best things happening in California, and then they do a little documentary on them. If you could start that film, please. This competition goes on 10 times a year, Friday nights. 7 to 8 o'clock. I'm sorry,
it's Friday
4 to
night,
8.
And the gym at Mulholland Middle School is packed. Everyone here is pumped.
450 people a time. It's like a football game.
62 teams are
it really
here to
is.
participate in a robotics competition. Each team is hoping their robot will score the most points in rounds that last just 60 seconds.
The competition is run as a friendly alliance where you meet a bunch of new students, and all the robots are different, but all the robots are designed to accomplish the same challenge. You meet up with your alliance, you make your plan, you make your strategy, how together you can score the most points.
I played sports my whole life, and I think this was the smartest way for you to combine sports and education together. And it's one of the healthiest competitions I've ever seen because the kids have to work together to do well.
Again, this happens 10 times a year, about 450 people a time, and it's really the talk of the town. 62 schools are involved. When you add up the numbers, it's a little over 30,000 kids are exposed to robots, and I think we're doing a good job. Our vision for the future, and this is why you're going to see this one, because it involves you folks. Can you start that?
I think this needs to become like the next big thing. This needs to be the next sport. I think this could be something that sets our children up for something much greater in life.
Next year, not only are we going to have robots, but we're going into drones and submersibles. We're going into renewable energy, land, sea, and air, everything. When you talk about what we're bringing here, we're not trying to level the playing field. As you can see, we own the playing field.
And to help us do that, I need the drones to be okayed by you folks, and we'll take the cameras off. So there's a little advertisement there. Okay, what's next? We've started 3 pathways. We have $250,000 apiece for each career pathway. And the first one is engineering. We have 166 kids involved in an engineering program. They will go linked learning onto Reseda High School. It's project-based instruction, portfolio defense, everything that education should be. We also have biotechnology, 112 students involved, project-based instruction. Video production, 162 students involved, project-based instruction. We're bringing the newest and the best to our community, and our community is seeing that, and that's why they're coming back. Just one last thing, because this is working on changing the culture, and this is one of the first things we did before we started our magnet school. We created an elective program, and the elective program, it was done so that we could attract more kids because we didn't have any electives. So we asked every teacher, what is it you do anyway at home for fun? The teachers, we wanted them to be doing something they enjoyed. So you see fictional fandoms. I don't even know what it is. You got soccer, you got music, you got all sorts of things that teachers do that kids get involved with. And it's exciting because now we have every teacher doing what they like. We have every student doing what they like for the first half hour of every day. Our attendance has gone up. Our discipline problems have gone down because brain-based instruction says if you start the day off doing something you enjoy, your brain fires better all day long. That was invented by our teachers. It's working. It's fantastic. The kids love it. The parents love it. Now, I'd like to invite our lead teacher, Marcy Lewis, to say a couple words about our robotics program.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to tell you about the tremendous robotics program at Mulholland Middle School. The program emphasizes project-based education centered on robotics, where we strive for depth and complexity in learning. Robotics is embedded in core subjects where students are presented with real-world problems and are challenged to come up with their own solutions, such as search and rescue robots to assist in natural disasters. In our program, students learn how to design robots through engineering and manufacturing processes, as well as program their robots. We are opening up a whole new world for them where the possibilities are endless and their future will include careers that you and I cannot even imagine. As part of our program, we offer students the opportunity to participate on competitive robotics teams. I personally coach 2 teams, and this year one team is an all-girls team as we recognize the importance of girls in STEAM. For the past 2 years, we had a team that earned a spot and competed at the world level. We recognize the importance of and highly encourage girls in STEAM. It's so rare that students come to a school excited to learn, and we can proudly say that we have a whole school of them.
There we go.
Thank you.
One more thing, we have a coding class, and the teacher just by chance saw that there was this coding competition going on a Saturday, and he asked me, Dr. Vallone, can I take a couple of kids to this thing? A 7th grader and an 8th grader, I believe, and they were competing against 68 other teams, high schools and all. And our 2 kids won first place, $1,100 for each one of them for their coding abilities. So this is not something that's just going to stop here. This is going to go on and on and on. And now I'd like to bring one of our finest students, Malcolm Lovelace. Malcolm, come on. You're going to like this kid.
Good afternoon. Robotics is a really big part of Mulholland Middle School, along with the students, faculty, and staff. Ever since my first day at Mulholland, I knew how much I loved it there. In every lesson, my teacher would incorporate robotics. I especially want to thank my robotics coach, Mrs. Lewis, for pushing us on the robotics team every day. Thanks to her, we were able to go to Kentucky twice, and we'll definitely go again this year. One of the greatest parts of competing in robotics is communication and making alliances with the other teams. In a match, 2 teams with 2 drivers each collaborate to score as many points as possible. My personal role in the robotics team is being a head engineer. There are also drivers, coders, and members who work on the design book. Being in a robotics magnet has affected my career outlook, and I am definitely hoping to become a mechanical engineer. I'm pretty sure Mulholland will help me reach that goal. I hope that future students will have the same opportunities that I've had so they can fall in love with robotics too.
Thank you very much, and that concludes our presentation. Okay.
Okay, Dr. Vallone, let me just say, I pass Mulholland every day
Yes, you
on Van Owen, every day, and I look over at your
A
school.
lot of times you stop in.
I do, I stop in. You know, it's just a nice community middle school.
Yeah.
And you have really changed that to something really special. Let me just see if I can review real quick what you have done to find the secret of it all, and that's getting enrollment back. And you have been partnering with elementary and high schools, correct?
Yep.
You have career pathways in engineering and video production and biotechnology, correct?
Yep.
You start school with a fun and interesting club to find things that interest the students,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And so you're just doing a fantastic job.
Well, me and the teachers, yes, thank you
You're
so
all
much.
together. Thank you so much, and
thank
I
you,
have
thank
something
you.
for you, too.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you again. Let's have another round of applause for the team from Mulholland Middle School and Board Member Schmerelson in District 3. And I know they'll come down and take a picture and grant a certificate.
We took pictures earlier.
Oh, great. Look at that. So, I mean, so efficient. Yeah, you can do one more there.
Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Come on down, sister. Okay. Everybody in? Oh, right there. Okay. Funny face?